Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. We just got back from closed session. At this time, can we please have roll call?
Trustee Hodges.
Present.
Trustee Flores.
Present.
Trustee Young.
Present.
Vice President Amboy is absent. President Fox.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Student trustees are present from Jesse Bethel.
I'm
John
sorry.
Finney. Okay.
Trustee Jacobo. Let it go.
Present.
Trustee Baroj. And Trustee De Leon.
This time, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands. All right, our reports taken in closed session for item 5C, or 3A, the governing board heard information regarding significant exposure litigation, and direction was given. For item 3B, the governing board heard an update on the superintendent's goals, and no direction was given at this time. That's the only report for our closed session items. With that, do I hear a motion to adopt the board agenda? Flores?
Make a motion to adopt the board agenda.
Trustee Hodges?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges.
Aye.
Trustee Flores.
Aye.
Trustee Young. Vice President Amboy is absent. President Fox.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobo. Trustee Abab. And Trustee De Leon. And the motion passes 4 and 1 absent.
Thank you. All right, now we're down to 6 presentations, none tonight, correct?
Well, we do.
Report.
We do. So for item 6A, we just want to acknowledge, it's shown on the screen, our district partners who donated to have a great start of the school year. Our different partners, Hey Tutor, Jason Eatman of ICU Technologies, Starbucks, and Amplify, all donated to the opening day sort of events with staff, so the professional development days. So we just wanted to acknowledge that in our meeting.
All right, now down to presentations.
Yes. So before we begin with this item on 6BI, because I know we have a full house, the 7-Eleven committee will be doing their presentation. We will then take public comment on this item. I think that's where the majority of folks are in the room. So if you have submitted a card, please do so. This is for the item related to the recommendations made by the 7-Eleven committee. Item 6B2 is going to be the action that the board will take to accept the report. Just to clarify, there's no action being taken tonight on any decisions regarding closure and consolidation. It's just an action to accept the report this evening. So if I could introduce Assistant Superintendent Ruben Fernandez, and he will be introducing the members of the 7-Eleven committee who will have a report and a presentation.
Give it a second. There it is. Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, President Fox, Dr. Young, Trustee Flores, and Trustee Hodges, and members of the community. This evening, we will receive the final report of the Facility Advisory 7-Eleven Committee. In June 2025, the board established the committee to carefully review district properties and surplus space, hold a public meeting, and to provide findings and recommendations regarding potential school site closures and surplus designations. On behalf of the district, I'd like to thank Arche Miles, Kimberly Marquez, and Tilek Ying for their service on this committee, their thoughtful approach, commitment to reviewing data, and willingness to consider community input have helped ensure that the recommendations before the board are both thorough and balanced. Tonight's item is an acknowledgement of the receipt of that report. It does not reflect an endorsement of any specific findings or recommendations at this stage, but it formally recognizes the committee's work and the importance of their report in informing the board's future decisions. And with that, I'd like to invite the committee to come on up and present.
Assistant Super, can we turn the mic towards, like, just, yeah, facing, so, there we go.
Test, test.
Perfect.
Hello, board. My name is Kimberly Marquez Cortez. I was the chair for the 7-Eleven committee report, and I join you today with my colleagues. Y'all want to introduce yourself too?
Hi, Shay Miles.
Tilak Ying.
And so I'm going to take us through the first few slides. So in response to the committee duties, our duties were to review the enrollment trends and spaces, establish priority lists for surplus properties, hold public hearing which was held on July 28th, and recommend a ranked list for closures and designate sites for surplus. Our meetings and engagement, we met June 24th, July 7th, July 28th, and August 11th, and we held public hearing for community input. We really want to emphasize and appreciate the community for coming out for many of these meetings that we held. It was really supportive to hear from both teachers, staff, and parents with students that go to these different schools and the impact that this would have on their community. And we definitely heard and were listening and took that all into consideration for our task, which was to rank the list and the surplus. Data reviewed, we reviewed enrollment, site capacity, geographic needs, and programmatic impact. We were provided different spreadsheets that had some of that data, and as well as projected attendance for this coming school year, which was all information that we took into account when looking at these schools. So we had the first task, and I will pass it over to Tilak. Right?
Just make sure you're speaking into the mic so the recording can get you.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, members of the board, members of the community, superintendent, and staff. Good evening. My name is Tilak Ying. The first consideration that we faced as a 7-Eleven committee was whether certain sites should be declared surplus. Our understanding was that the surplus status does not impact the school's likelihood of closure, but that granting the designation would give the board flexibility to consider lease or sale if that became prudent. Based on the information we reviewed, input from the community, we recommend the surplus designation for the 4 schools on the list to join the schools already recommended for surplus designation by the previous 7-Eleven committee. Those schools are listed on the slide: Federal Terrace Elementary, John Finney Education Complex, Cooper Elementary, and Highland Elementary. Additionally, we just want to note for any of the facilities found to be surplus and to the district needs, and to the extent that the board decides to consider sale or any other disposition, our committee supports the board applying for a waiver of the surplus property competitive bidding requirements so that offers may be evaluated on their value to the district based on multiple factors, including but not limited to price. And I just wanted to say personally, I also thank you to all the members of the community who came out in support of their schools. We appreciate your engagement.
Hello. So next, our task was to do a ranked list of the properties. So 1 through 7, we have Lincoln Elementary, John Finney Education Complex, Pennycook Elementary, Stephen Manor Elementary, Cooper Elementary, Federal Terrace Elementary, and Highland Elementary. And this was definitely a challenge for us, and as you can imagine, and we have some our findings and recommendations that we'd also like to share with you. But in advance of that, we understand that there is an equity impact analysis that will be coming up. So in advance of that, we did make these recommendations. And so I want to be very clear about that. And in respect for the community members in the room, I just want to remind them that the what the EIA will cover. And this is just a short list because we did make some recommendations in terms of these metrics as well. And that is physical condition of a school facility, operating costs and potential savings, the capacity of other schools to absorb students, availability and transfer of special programs, environmental factors, balance of pupil demographics, pupil transportation needs, aesthetics, and opportunity for blight, impact on feeder school attendance patterns. So I just want to share the recommendations of the list that, the ranked list that we have, and they are as follows. Just a second. I want to provide, in respect for the, again, the public, sorry, those in the room. So, in combination with considering this report, the EIA, and the findings and recommendations, we recommend the board consider the results of the EIA being prepared to evaluate impacts related to the various potential closures and/or relocation of district properties. So for Lincoln School, closure of Lincoln Elementary and consolidate Lincoln students to Federal Terrace while keeping the literacy program intact. In regards to John Finney, relocate the John Finney Education Complex programs to an available district school site and consider the former Finney site for use as a future middle school. Closure of Pennycook Elementary School and consolidate Pennycook students to Stephen Manor Elementary School. Also repurpose Pennycook Elementary School for other district programs or uses. The committee recognizes that Cooper Elementary and Highland Elementary are strong community schools, and we recommend that the board consider increasing awareness of the benefits of those schools and the programs they offer to students and families. The committee chose to place these schools low on the list of recommended closures due to their unique geographic location. The committee chose to place Federal Terrace low on the list as well of recommended closures because of its unique geographic location, strength as a community school, proximity to a neighborhood park, work with professional learning communities, and academic progress in kindergarten literacy. And so I wanted to provide more depth into those recommendations for, for the public, the community that is in the room, because they're just to give them more context outside of the slides.
I think that was our last one.
Yeah.
So that is our presentation to the board.
I would like to thank you for all the work that the 7-11 committee did, meeting and putting forth all the reports and information as recommendations. So thank you for your time and thank you for your report tonight. Do we have any comments or questions?
Benaya?
Good evening. I understand about using John Finney's campus as a middle school because I know it was once a middle school. and the placement is pretty much spot on to put a middle school right there. But because we are such a unique campus and we have so many schools on our campus, my understanding, like being on the campus, if we were to think about other campuses that we could use to put John Finney at, I wouldn't say that it would necessarily, change the way that we have everything spaced out, but me personally thinking, and this has been in my head since I looked at the agenda last week, I don't think that there is a campus that is uniquely spaced the way that this campus has been spaced to use Everest, Leadership, ISA, and John Finney all on one campus. And to see, the work that we've done at our campus and to see, the efforts that they go through to keep us all in our own vicinity, but also not feel locked up in one space so that, we have our space per school, but we can also all come together as one school. I understand, I do, but I just, you guys thinking about it, even me saying, we look at what schools, Beverly Hills, or, if any of the other schools were to close, it's mainly elementaries or schools that are meant to be put into one campus. They don't have the space like a normal high school or a normal, charter, for instance. So we would all be put together. Or then there's the option of moving one of the campuses, but we're, that is, honestly, our family right there. It wouldn't be John Finney if we didn't have Everest and Leadership and the other schools on the campus. So thinking about, relocating and moving it to another school, I know we're thinking about cost-wise or attendance-wise, or there's a lot of things that go into it that I might not understand, seeing as I am still in school and I'm only 17. But thinking about it from a kid's point of view, is it comfortable for us? Is it better for us? We're the ones who have to go to the school. So it's like, is that something that you can see working for the kids, or is it something that you saw looking at percentages and something that you saw based off of different things that you saw on a piece of paper or online? I feel like when you make a decision like this, I'm not saying you have to have everybody's opinion, but we always say, the kids are the future and think VCUSD first, but did you even ask the kids how we would feel if we moved? Because, for me, I went and I'm graduating from there, and for me, it was a fresh start. It opened my eyes to a lot, and for me, I changed my entire self. That school is one of the only reasons that I even thought about being student trustee and, sticking up for my school, because at the end of the day, a lot of people overlook John Finney, and for me, I don't think for kids, we would be comfortable, on a smaller campus where we're all put together. That's like putting a high school at a smaller campus. We have so many other programs on campus that, you do have to ask yourself at the end of the day, is it more comfortable for us and our staff and our spacing and the way we have everything put together? Does it work for us?
Are we able to respond?
I'm going to respond just because I don't think we put the 7-Eleven committee in that predicament. They were given a task, right?
Yeah.
So really, it should be directed at sort of us, me, staff, right? Because and the board, because the board ultimately is going to make that decision. We provided the task of them. We gave them 7 school programs to rank. It was pretty clear coming out of that committee. The original thought or original request was, if we had to close schools, which ones do we close first, right? So Finney is number 2 on that list, but I don't think there's any energy from the board or even the staff to close Finney. So there was initially a thought, maybe we push those programs into our high schools. I don't think that's the direction we're going to go in. However, there are a lot of factors that play into that campus. that were also discussed in the committee, and why it might make sense to relocate that program to gain access to that campus. We had that similar discussion when we moved Vallejo Charter School from their former location to Mare Island. And partly it's because that allows us to generate potential revenue in the future for a district that is struggling financially. So there are a lot of factors that play into it. It doesn't necessarily answer your question about did the students get asked, right? And that's work that's still coming. We're gonna have town halls, for example. We have mapped out from now till December 17th. So December 17th is the board meeting where the board, including yourself, as a student board member, will have to make an ultimate decision about the future of these schools. But up until that time, we are gonna have multiple opportunities, not just for community, but for the students as well, to speak up. I hope I answered your question.
Just a little.
A little bit?
Dr. Young?
Thank you so much, for giving us that insight from your perspective. It was a whole lot for you to do that. And, thank you. Thank you for your input that you're giving us, so we can take that also, and evaluate in what direction that we will be going, in the future. But to have a student trustee to go that deep, is heart-filling to me, and it should have resonated over everyone, because it sure did resonate over me. So thank you for your input. Thank you for being there to keep us on track.
Hey, Dr. Young. All right. So with that, we are going to hear, thank you so much, committee, for your time, your effort, and your work. I want to remind everyone a little bit about the timeline. The 7-Eleven committee is a part of the process of the big picture. And like Superintendent Aurelio just said, we're going to have a number of all the meetings from the town halls, from the study sessions, from all the reports and the information for the next few months. That's how we'll get to the ultimate decision in December. So it's going to be a lot of information until we finally get to, and it might look similar, it might not look anything like this. When we got the 7-Eleven report for the last school closures, I'm pretty sure it was completely different. So this is very preliminary, and I would like to first thank you all for being here, because hearing your voices or your concerns is so important. But I would like to share something from the board. The reason I'm on this board is to save this district, continually save this district. Just came out of state receivership. Again, we just came out of state receivership. There's so many factors always being thrown at a school district that can get you back in state receivership easily. Then we have no local control, and the state will do whatever they want. Right now, we have local Vallejo people that live in Vallejo that have control. But it's very scary. Also very scary what's happening with our federal government and funding and closing the Department of Education, and how public schools, to me, seem on attack. That you're going to have the rich for private or charter, and you're going to have the poor with no funding. I'm also so sad as a teacher reading information today and this week, there's going to be no food programs to feed our children being cut. I don't know if you've read it. I've read it. And I know my students need that food every morning and every lunch and every after school. So I'm trying to promote a little bit of the bigger picture that unfortunately schools in California and the nation, when you have a school that's only 40% occupied and only 40% of the 100% of the building, and you have a county office and a state that's telling you are cutting your budget, you have to make tough decisions if you want to stay afloat. And if you don't make those decisions, then again, the state takes you over, and they'll make the decisions at their level, not our level. Your voice, our voice will not be heard. None of us want to do school closures. That's not why we're on the board. None of us want to cut programs. That's not why we're on the board. We want to do the opposite. But the situation that our country, and especially California, is in right now, our hands are tied. Again, if we want to stay afloat. So I wanted to just give a little bit of that, and we're going to be, during the meetings, the data and the EIR reports that were talked about, the equity impact reports, those are going to be so crucial for each site. So when we listen to those, that's going to be very impactful about making decisions about the location. So I'm already questioning when I see some of this, oh, it's near a park, or oh, it's this or that. Well, until we get the EIR, that's going to give more information, more data. So this is, again, very preliminary. So again, thank you so much for being here, and we want to see you the next few months and hear different perspectives. But please, in the back of your mind, realize our job is to keep the district solvent so we're not taken over again. And how we do that is going to be tough. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And when we hear children or students saying it's going to be uncomfortable and this is going to be, it's going to be uncomfortable for everyone. But we're also in huge competition with private and charter schools. And if we lose students, then that's more cuts and more closures. So the way to keep attendance and try to get people in our district, attendance will save us if we can get that attendance and keep that attendance and have a culture, again, Vallejo first. If we all can come together, we can avoid these type of meetings. But that's a whole community working together. That's not the board, that's not the district. That's Vallejo. And you, citizens, working together to help with attendance, and why should children come to Vallejo schools instead of a charter school, instead of a private school? You teachers are incredible. Our students are incredible. We offer everything that they offer, if not better. And maybe it's not as shiny in their ads, but we're making it shiny. And we deserve the same opportunity to serve every child in Vallejo, but the stigma through the years have tarnished and made it so negative. Being on this board, we've tried to break that negative narrative. And I can't tell you how much it hurts when I see things on social media or in the newspaper, when people get things wrong about our staff and our students and our families. It hurts because we live here. Those are our neighbors. Those are our students. It's not fair, the negative rap. So again, it's going to take all of us collectively to come together the next few years to try, to me, save public schools in general, not just ours, but public schools in general. And why should people come to public schools? That's my mission. That's my mission. Anyways, with that, I'm going to be quiet with that, and we're going to move on to listen to from you.
Yes, public comment time for this item. So I have 11 cards. We're going to do 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Whatever
I'm
I
looking
want
at
to
you.
hear from, so whatever.
You have to tell me how much time.
How many cards do we have?
11 cards.
I think we could do 3.
You want to do 3?
And some aren't going to be 3. They're going to say if they need, and it's going to be done.
Okay,
So.
we'll do 3
And
minutes.
some might be repetitive. They'll be like, oh, what they said.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, if you hear your thoughts, let's not repeat them. Just say, I agree, and the next thing. All right, so the first, I'm going to call them 3 at a time. That way we can move through here. Ignacio Velasquez, Catalina Velasquez, and Kaylee Cameron. If you can come forward, please.
This is my kindergartner, you guys.
Hi. What?
Too close. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
okay,
You're okay.
perfect. Perfect.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hi. You got this. Okay. Just read it. You wrote it, so read it.
Okay.
Okay. You got it. It's okay. Push Look in the sack, Mark. Look at me. My name is Ignacio. Dile. Tell us my name is Ignacio. Say it.
Hi, my name is Ignacio.
Good job, Buggies. What else?
I'm a Stephen Manor kindergartner. Please don't close my school. If you close my school, I will be sad. I will Stephen Manor. I am a tax leader.
Good job, Buggies. You okay? You did
Good job, Nacho.
Thank you.
Next is Catalina. Are you ready, Catalina?
Hi, my name is Catalina. I am in the fourth grader at Stephen Manor. I'm here today fighting to keep Stephen Manor open. I love the teachers at Stephen Manor. I love the staff at Stephen Manor. I love my friends at Stephen Manor. Please don't split us up. Stephen Manor is my family, and family shouldn't be split apart. Stephen Manor makes me feel safe and loved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know how I'm supposed to top that. But good evening, board members. My name is Kaylee, and I'm a teacher at Stephen Manor Elementary. I'm here to speak about why I think Stephen Manor's site should remain open. I know the 7-Eleven committee gave their suggestions tonight for the phase 2 of school consolidations, but I thought it was important to share my speech with you tonight because I know the ultimate decision about consolidations and closures is with the board. Stephen Manor's site, location, and community offer amazing opportunities for our students, and it would be awesome to have other students get to be a part of that too. Stephen's site is one of the newest sites since being rebuilt after burning down in the early 2000s and will cost less to upkeep than other sites. Our school had construction work done this summer and has all new air conditionings that are very nice, so thank you. The construction crew also went through our site and ensured that there are no roof leaks, termites, dry rot, mold, or other similar problems. Having these assurances is great and means that there will be less unforeseen costs down the road, saving important budget funds, which we all know we really need right now. Stephen has a very large multi-purpose room, which will allow students to eat lunch inside and together. It is also a space that we use for performances, community events, and a meeting spot in case of emergency. Our multi-purpose room is a space that allows us to continue to build up our community and allow families to spend time together. Stephen has worked closely with our community around us and specifically the Community Presbyterian Church, and we have a great relationship with them and their volunteers. They offer free food giveaways that our families frequently attend. They give clothes away, donate time to help with tutoring students, donate tissues and other needed school supplies, as well as putting on and volunteering various other events for our school. We are also right next to 7-Eleven, which is a great spot to get food or snacks before before school starts for staff and students alike. Stephen Manor is a beautiful, safe campus that provides a wonderful learning environment for students and a really great working environment for staff. I think it would be great to have more students and staff be able to join us and work together with us. I know that school consolidations and closures are a really difficult thing to talk about and go through, and that there will be growing pains, but I really think that it can be for the better. Every school has great teachers, great staff, and really, really great students. This decision should be about what sites can give students the best learning environment, and I think that Stephen is one of those sites. I believe that Stephen Manor's campus will attract even more families to VCUSD and that we can continue to build up our district with this site welcoming families for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next three, Brian Pizzamenti, Lori Tackemeyer, and Elizabeth Fong. So, Brian? Yep.
My name is Brian Pizzaminti. Members of the board, thank you for this time. It's very important to me. I'm a man of this community. I'm a husband, and I'm a father. My daughter currently goes to Stephen Manor. I currently reside in the Stephen Manor neighborhood. That's why that elementary was given that name, because of the neighborhood. So we shall keep the school. Recently, there was a public request done through the city of Vallejo on certain fire inspection reports. Stephen Manor had the least amount of deficiencies. So if you want to talk about dollars and money and maintaining that, you're already on the right track of keeping it open. So let's continue to maintain that. Excuse me, I'm still gathering some of my thoughts. At this time, I want to challenge the board to also be able to maybe look into some grant funding, if that's possible or doing, if we could get these funds so we could keep more staffing and also provide an education to the students. This is a difficult time for our community, but as you could see, a lot of Stephen Manor parents and students and teachers are here to speak on it. This is a tight-knit group. I want to be able to maintain that tight-knit group in our community, because at the end of the day, it's giving back to the children who may be the doctors performing life surgery on us one day. So the fact that we have to close any schools down in the city, that's very ashamed, but at this time, I'm going to repeat it one more time. Do not close Stephen Manor. Thank you kindly.
Good evening, board members. My name is Lori Tackmeyer. I have been in your district 26 years. If you don't know me, sorry about that. I am an educator. I am a teacher. I am a parent of a former student of Vallejo. I raised my child in this district. I am on your executive board. I am on your safety committee. I was your policy committee. I have sat a lot of committees within this district. Tonight, you're going to hear a lot about my school's better than your school. This school is better than that. And that's really not what it's about. Tonight, we need to think about putting our students first. We need to think about which it would least impact our communities. Why are we looking at two of the largest schools to combine? Why are we taking schools that are over 400 students and stuffing them into one place? Is that VCUSD first? Is that what's best for our children? We're keeping small schools open because they have one grade level that's succeeding, but we're combining two large schools? I don't think that's VCUSD first. I don't think that's putting our students first. I don't think that's putting our children first. Why are we thinking about moving high schoolers to an elementary school campus? Is that putting our children first? Is that what we do for our kids? I mean, I got to tell you, we got little potties. Do you really think those very nice people fit in our little restrooms? No, it doesn't. Excuse me, got to turn a couple of pages. In addition, do you know what happened to the charter school when they moved? Do you have any idea what's happening over at Maryland right now? Oh, they got moved over there because it was going to be big enough for them. It's not. They can't use the portables because of dry rot. New portables weren't brought in. They can't use certain rooms because they're not acceptable. They have one classroom divided into 4 spaces with children and 4 adults in there. That's not VCUSD first. I'm challenging you to look outside the box. I'm challenging you, don't look at schools that are being successful. Look at schools that, yes, we have to sell. Yes, we know this is difficult. Yes, we know it's going to happen. Stephen's not on the selling block. It wasn't considered as one of those facilities we were going to get let go of. Last year, we learned that it's about $500,000 to keep a school open. But it takes about $400,000 to protect that school, maintain that school, and keep that school from being vandalized. Is that VCUSD first? Is that putting our kids first when we're closing a school to put students who don't fit, or to close it and put facilities that really aren't needed because we're located elsewhere? I challenge you to look into other things. I challenge you, the cost of closing a school is raising your attendance. The cost of closing your school is cutting some of our consultants. The cost of closing our school is at the cost of our children. Look other places, look other ways. And in addition, please don't do it at Christmas. You decimated Cave School when you closed it. Our community struggled for months. Don't give us that Christmas gift. That's not a gift any of you want to be remembered for. Do it later in the year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. My name is Elizabeth Fong, and I am speaking to you tonight on behalf of my school, Pennycook Elementary. I have taught at Pennycook for 28 years, and I have been in the district for 35. The first thing that I wanted to address tonight is that the proposed closures have pitted schools against each other. This is not the example that we want to set for our children. Every school is a pillar of their community, and they contribute to the lives of students and their families. What I am stating tonight are simply facts that I spoke about at the last 7-Eleven meeting. And although, we're comparing the two schools, I'd like to point out that we have large streets, we have parking, and we did house Stephen in the past, which was brought up at the previous meeting. And I actually was in those portables, and they were not moldy. I taught in those portables. Our neighborhood streets are wide, and the parking is more available. I don't feel like parking at 7-Eleven is acceptable for staff members. I can't even imagine that the student population doubling and having up to 900 students at one school. What's that going to do when you have that many students and you have double the staff members trying to park and get to school? I'll also reiterate that we are the original Leader in Me school, and we are also the headquarters for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program for Solano County. I am asking the board to consider what Pennycook contributes to our community and the disruption and the emotional trauma that it will cause to close us down. Thank you.
Our next three public commenters, Charlene Meza-Fry, Ms. Sophia Robinson, and just says Lawrence. So no last name. All right.
Good evening. My name is Charlene Meza-Fry. I have been working in the district since 2013, and I've taught at De Anza, and now Pennycook is my home school where I've been ever since. What I want to reiterate what Ms. Fong and Ms. Tackmeyer says, that you're pitting us against each other. This evening, it's like, oh, and I love my friends that I taught with. I've worked with a lot of them. But to pit us against each other like this is harmful. It's breaking us apart. It's not VCUSD first. I love my school I've been at, and I just want to share a few things about what we're doing there. We have our DHH program. We have, again, Leader in Me. We just had our Leader in Me meeting today. We have a lot of great things planned for this year to come back and be more strong and powerful. We're not thinking of closure. We're thinking of being powerful and teaching our students to be leaders. We have our Leadership Day, which is very fun. Parents love it. They all join in. We have a lot of activities going on. We have our service learning programs. I'm the choir director at Pennycook, going into my 6th year. And last year, I had 60 students join. My biggest choir ever. And it was amazing, and I felt very blessed. I'm also in charge of the Solano art program for our school. We've been leaders for the past 4 years, winning art competitions at Solano County. We just started our Buddy Bison program, where they came searching for us last year, wanting to reconnect with their program to show our students how to be stewards of our communities and our nature. And they've, again, just had our meeting with us, and we're planning on incorporating 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade in these programs for free buses to be sponsored by another school. So that's showing you how strong we are and that people are looking for us. I just want to let you know that our kids, we teach them to be leaders. We are stressing every day that we expect them to make it to college. We want them to be leaders in their community. We want them to be kind. And we've been doing this since 2019. Even when we lost our principal, we still kept it going. We are resilient. We love our kids. We love our families. They keep coming back to us. And I just ask you to please, before you ever make your decision, please come and visit us. See what we're doing. We will gladly invite you to our school and show you what we are accomplishing at Pennycook Elementary. I thank you.
Remember, I'm the one that don't like you to be dry. How are you guys doing? I brought a piece of paper this time. My name is Miss Sophia Robinson. I am a proud Panda Pennycook teacher. And I have been at Pennycook since COVID, since we went virtual. I left Cooper, and I was just a designated sub for you guys. And I was asked to step in from being a DS into being a teacher. I had to go through school and college and everything, but it was worth it, and it still is. I stand today to talk to you not about closures, but about the consolidation and about the 3 C's: consistency, commitment, and connection. I think we need to focus on that. You have 7 schools, and what I've done is sit here and I've prayed about it and I've looked at it, and for me, I said last time, the historical value of every school is important. I think Lincoln is important. I listen to these young people, and I think that's a beautiful thing that you have them. I would hope that your trustee board would add a couple of more seats for some elementary students so you could hear from their level too, because they have a lot to say. But you guys are doing a dynamic job. Lincoln is important, and maybe it could be used to house John Finney, to make John Finney, to be done something. Maybe we could take Lincoln and move it over and shuffle it to one of the larger facilities. Highland, Federal Terrace. John Finney needs to be a junior high. It needs to go backwards. We need that junior high in Vallejo. As you said, sir, we need to make this city great again. We need schools if they're going to come, okay? Pennycook, I bid that it be kept open. It's a Leader in Me school. It's a very large property. And the only reason that I bid that it be kept open is because we're willing to share the size of the property with our beautiful neighbor, Stephen Manor, which is also a great school. It doesn't need to close, but there's space where we are where we can share it, where their families can have their Stephen Manor and where we can still have Pennycook and be a Leader in Me school and combine everything. There's a parking lot on Rollingwood that would fees it. But yes, you would have to spend money. Yes, you would have to come over there and revamp and build. But that's what you're going to have to do anyway, somewhere, some point. I also bid that Pennycook would remain open and welcome Stephen Manor and the consolidation so that there is no barrier. I also bid to you, and I thank the 7-Eleven committee, that Federal Terrace would be able to be where either the Lincoln K through 1 could go, if John Finney didn't, or that they could then take on even more students somewhere, but that they remain where they are. I bid to you that Highland would also be able to consolidate and maybe take on the Lincoln students. Either way, you have to give transportation and you have to be able to do it. I'm walking away, but I'm going to tell you, VCUSD first. Vallejo's children understand sacrifice and dedication.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't put my last name.
Okay.
This is an oversight, and apologies for being a little redundant. I'm not a person that speaks well with just impromptu, so I got my speech. All right, so good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, President Fox, trustees, community members. Thank you all for being here. My name's Lawrence Hager. I'm a first grade teacher at Pennycook Elementary School, and this is my 5th year at the school and my 17th with the district. I urge you to keep Pennycook Elementary School open during this consolidation process for the following reasons. First, Pennycook is a thriving neighborhood school that must be kept open. Generations of students and their families have depended on Pennycook for the education of their children, and they need our school to stay open in their community where it's accessible. Next, Pennycook is unique with its Leader in Me program, which teaches leadership to students beginning in TK all the way through 5th grade at our school and it's continued with our partnership over at Hogan Middle School. Also, Pennycook is home to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. This program has been an important resource for the students and families in the DHH community, and this program is well established at Pennycook, and it needs to stay there. I should also mention that at the last 7-Eleven committee, the rankings for closure were changed based on inaccurate reports of the conditions of the classrooms at our site. I've been at this school for many years, and other teachers have, and some of the complaints about it, I'm not sure those were accurate. I don't think those were accurate. In addition, there's been significant capital improvements made at Pennycook, including 2 new play structures located on opposite sides of the campus, and most recently, new HVAC systems installed in every classroom. Bottom line is, and I know you've heard this before, Pennycook has the capacity to make this happen, to make this consolidation happen. And we've done it before, so we know it works. Like it's been said before, it's a large campus. When Stephen burned down, they moved over. The teachers, staff, students, and their families moved to our school site. And as Ms. Robinson has mentioned, we can separate our schools if we want to do that, or work together as one school site. Pennycook has a very large field, and not just 2 play structures, but there's 2 parking areas, and those also are on opposite sides of the property. I mean, it just makes sense, and we know it works. There's a lot of issues with parking at Stephen Manor. I mean, I love Stephen Manor, the school site, it's very well built, but I'm just, I really question whether or not that's going to be happening, whether that really can happen. Driving, parking, and walking on and around Pennycook Elementary is adequate, and it's safe. And for these reasons, I hope you're going to ensure that Pennycook Elementary School remains open. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hager. We have 2 more cards for this item. Rebecca, I don't want to mess with, is it Pua? Pug? I'm trying to look. Pua. And Bridget Doherty. Rebecca in the room? Okay, let's give them a what is Bridget here? And we'll come back to Rebecca. Is Bridget Doherty here? I think it's Pua. Rebecca Pua?
I'm Bridget, but I'm not Bridget Doherty.
I don't have a card for you, though.
Oh, darn, because I had something I couldn't.
Sorry. I know. I love that you're Bridget, but I have to go with the card. We're going to just quickly check to see if they're in the other room. Oh, so here, okay. Are you Bridget? No. Thank you. Hi there. Are you Bridget or Rebecca? I'm Bridget. Rebecca wanted me to go first. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Bridget.
So I'm going to remind everybody that we can't hear you in that room over there because nobody's talking into the microphone, including all of you. So it's very hard to hear, but I'm the one that's going to tell you. So, okay. So heard a lot of the things that I was going to say, and as you said, just move along. So I want to start with the baseline, which is the kids. This is my granddaughter. I worked at Wardlaw, so I've been in the school district for a little while. I don't work there anymore. And I'm a Stephen Manor family, and that school is excellent. I can speak as a parent, grandparent, guardian. I can also speak as a former employee who totally prefers that school to the higher end school that is Wardlaw. No comparisons, but just say that school should not be on the chopping block. And one other thing I wanted to say was these young people over here, excellent. They're excellent. You guys you did a great job. And everything they said is so true. Her older sister, my other granddaughter, graduated from John Finney. So there's a lot going on in the district. Of course, there's a lot going on in our town that's horrible. But we don't need to be taking these kids' education, their foundations. The baseline is elementary school in Vallejo. If you don't get these kids at baseline, and if they're not studious, by the time junior high comes and high school, they're falling through the cracks. We all know it. It's not a joke. Elementary schools need to be the foundation for all these students. And Stephen Manor, she goes to Pennycook for summer school. I have nothing against Pennycook either. I don't have anything against any of the schools at all. But I know for a fact that Stephen Manor is a top-notch school. They're a home to children. They are a safety zone. The children care about each other. They worry about each other. They were worried about all the stuff going on with ICE. These children are worried that are we going to go home and our parents going to be here? I mean, these children are community kids that really understand what's going on around us. So we need to give them that credit, and we need to give the staff at Stephen Manor the support that they need and the validation of the jobs that they're doing. The teachers need way more support. The schools need way more support. I know I'm almost out of time. That's my speech.
Thank you. Rebecca.
Actually want to kind of turn this way because I wanted to thank the students, the faculty, the principals, all of you for being here tonight. I mean, just to be able to be here in this community and vocalize what you have to say. My name is Rebecca Pua. This is my sister, Julika I. We're born and raised from Vallejo, California. We've been here, we won't say our ages, but we've been here a long time. We went to Pennycook Elementary School. My mom was actually a computer proctor. She was the first computer proctor teacher at Pennycook School. So you know where my heart is. But I love Stephen Manor. I love Stephen Manor. To the lady right here, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but I love what you said. And I really think that 7-Eleven, we appreciate your advice, but I think we need to do a little bit more digging. I think we need to do a little bit more homework. I think we need to look at what schools are really actually that need to really, really close. We have two big schools here. We have Pennycook, we have Stephen Manor. Huge, huge capacities in those schools. And Pennycook has some amazing programs there. ASL, and it's like Solano County wide, right? It's Napa, it's all over. It's Vacaville, Fairfield, Suisun. These kids come from all those cities to Pennycook Elementary School. Leader in Me, my daughter is 13 years old. She is in Solano Wiedemann. She goes to that school because of the school that has Leader in Me program. That is an amazing program. And if you do not have that at your school, bring it on, because it helps these kids become great leaders. To the board, Mr. Fox, I appreciate your comments, and I can feel your heart, and I see what you see, and I know what you want to do to this community, and I really appreciate it. To this young lady right here, Zanea De Leon, you're amazing. Thank you for speaking up and vocalizing what you feel and what you see and what you want to have happen. You too, speak up, talk, because you know what? They're going to listen to you. Because who is this for? Who's this for?
It's for us.
Right? And also to the elementary kids that are coming right along with you. You see what is needed for Vallejo, for the community of this city. Hold on to that, open your mouth, and speak out loud. And I'm going to pray that they will listen to your voice, okay? So I want to talk about Leader in Me. I want to talk about, another thing was parking. Pennycook has an amazing parking situation. Like I'm going to reiterate that. Parking in the front, parking in the back. We have a system that's amazing for cars to come in and out of there. Yeah, you got 7-Eleven and that's great, but I don't know how we're going to get these many kids, these many faculty members, and many people, I know, these many people in that parking lot over there. So I pray that good things will happen and that you will relook at this. 7-Eleven Club, I hope that you relook at these two schools. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, community, for the public comments. And just to reiterate, no decisions tonight around closures or consolidations. There is more to come. So please continue to stay engaged as we do this work. So,
The board does really appreciate your voice and what you have to say, and we appreciate you being here. So thank you for your time. We are going to approve just receiving the report from 7-Eleven, but not that we're going with any information in it. It's just saying that we acknowledge they gave us a report.
so item 6B2, we do ask the board to take action on accepting this recommendation and report from the 7-Eleven committee.
Do I hear a motion? Trustee Flores?
Make a motion to accept the report.
Dr. Young? Roll call,
Second.
please.
Trustee Hodges?
Aye.
Trustee Flores?
Aye.
Trustee Young?
Aye.
Vice President Amboy is absent. President Fox?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobo?
Aye.
Trustee Arbab?
Aye.
Trustee De Leon?
Aye.
The motion passes 4 and 1 absent.
We are now down to our forum, interagencies. Do we have any report?
I don't see anyone here for a report for interagencies.
Okay, and now we are at VEA. And with that, welcome to our new school year. Third day.
Good evening, board, trustees, to all the trustees, our superintendent. Yes, I am Kevin Steele. I'm the president of the Vallejo Education Association. My colleague Lori took a lot of what I was going to say, but she did a really good job, so thank you. Yes, we are on student day 3. The teachers in the room know that the first week to 2 weeks is about getting routines established, getting the classroom off the ground, making the students and the teachers feel like that is their space, that's their safe space where they can learn. And once you get that set in, some classes get set in sooner than others, and then you're off sailing into the school year. One of the big challenges that we have been facing this year is combining 2 campuses into other 2 campuses. So we're puzzling people in, and as Lori mentioned, yeah, we have a teacher that should have their own space, but are sharing that space with other entities on campus. I am really hoping that the powers that be are working on getting that campus, or not that, but getting that classroom their own classroom. Because setting up a classroom, it's all about the students having ownership. Those of you on the board who are teachers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We used to be encouraged to read the Wong book.
The first 6 weeks of school.
For 6 weeks of school. It's like setting up a restaurant. You have everything in place. The kids come in. There's names. The kids have names in that classroom on their desk, on their cubby, on the board for jobs. And yes, I'm elementary. You probably don't have that at secondary. But the students have to feel like that's their space. And that's really hard to do when you're sharing it with three other entities on campus. So anyways, welcome officially to this school year, and to all the teachers and staff and students. Let's have a good year.
Thank you, Mr. Still.
Thank you.
VSEA.
Good evening, President Fox,
Vice President Amboy, Trustee Dr. Young, Trustee Flores, Trustee Hodges, Trustee Arb, Trustee Jacobo, Trustee De Leon, Superintendent Aurelio, staff and community. Hello, everyone. I'm Lizette Williams, and I'm a Health Tech 2. I have been with the district for almost 4 years. I'm also a member at large with CSA Vallejo Chapter 199. Welcome back to a brand new school year. Let's make it truly remarkable for all of our scholars. While we continue to face challenging times, we recognize that transparency is key. Open communication empowers us to support our members more effectively. Exciting news. Save the date for the Maintenance and Operations Academy on September 27th through the 28th in San Jose. Registration isn't open yet, but here's what to expect. Cost is $50 per person. Offerings include forklift certification, aerial scissor lift certification, self-defense training, resume building, and self-promotion strategies. No, you do not need to hold an M&O position to attend. All members are welcome. Following a recent PD day, I wanted to express my gratitude. Those sessions were incredibly informative. I attended 3 valuable workshops where I learned how to administer an EpiPen safely, how to establish a pre-bedtime routine for improved sleep, and effective ways to communicate with my peers. Let's build on that momentum this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a representative from VSMA?
We do. Our new VSMA president, I believe. Yes?
Good evening, President Fox, Trustee Dr. Young, Trustee Flores, Trustee Hodges, Trustee Jacobo, Trustee Arbab, and Trustee De Leon, Superintendent Aurelio, and community. My name is Dr. Amy Perengan. I'm the new president of VSMA. And I'm here to provide some updates for you. I do want to thank Roz Hines, who led the way previously. We have a new exec board that are just in it. We're ready to support our managers so that we can support our teachers and staff. Julie Robbins is the vice president. Danielle Brever is the treasurer. Hattie Kolgami is the secretary. And Michelle Hawthorne is our membership and bylaws committee chairperson, which is a new position. So in addition to supporting the growth and fostering collegiality amongst our managers, VSMA's goal this year is to increase membership so that we can provide more scholarships to our high school seniors. So here we are. After a much-deserved summer break, our managers at the district and the site have been preparing for this exciting first week of school. So district office staff are supporting sites to ensure that they're fully staffed with teachers, subs, and working diligently to provide materials and technology for our students for a strong start of the year. And as we visit sites this year, we've observed that our administrators are highly visible. They're in the hallways, they're in the common areas, they're connecting with parents, and most importantly, they're connecting with our students. So despite the extensive amount of work and some tough decisions that need to be made this year, our principals and our district office managers are here for it. We're focused on leading staff to create engaging, safe environments for our students. So with clear expectations from leadership and also our students that did a phenomenal job last week during our professional learning days, we're all focused on leading the staff to create and strengthen our systems and relationships that are much needed for student outcomes. We know that we have to work differently, so good luck to all of us for a great school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Report of district advisory committees.
We have no report at this time.
Community members.
We do have one card. Hazel Wilson, please.
Good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, President Fox, and members of the board. I am here to report on the teacher store. The teacher store is the store in the district where any teacher in the Vallejo City Unified School District can come and shop for free. This is to support our schools, our parents, and our students. equity in the classroom. We are making sure that our students have the support of whatever they need in that classroom. And of course, as always, we want to thank our biggest donor to the teacher store, Hall of Famer C.C. Sabathia. Thank you. Vallejo High School class of 1998.
All right, now we're on to student reports, and we have our 3 students. Day 3 of school. Exciting to hear your report. Let's start with Student Representative Trustee Jacobo.
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sonia Valdez Jacobo, and I'm here representing Vallejo High School. Just a report from the 3rd day of school. It is Wednesday. And first, I wanted to talk about our new principal, Miss Marshall. Where do I start? That's like my friend right there. Super open with her, really already built a bond with her since she was my vice principal last year. So she's been doing a phenomenal job. She's been keeping all of us on track, unfortunately. But on the other hand, I'm super excited for the school year. We also started our phone policy where we're not allowed to use our phones at all, and apparently not even during break or lunch. So it's been a challenge, but it's been good to see everybody talk, everybody engage, even to people where you think you would never be speaking with, and also to the new freshmen where a lot of them came to me asking me for help and getting to classes, as well as a lot of immigrant students who come from different countries who don't know how classes or schools in California or the United States overall work. So it's definitely been such an exciting 3 days, and I look forward to the rest of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, community and board. My name is Baroj Arbab. I am the student representative for Jesse Bethel High School. I guess I'll start with last week, so the staff and teacher orientation, which went very well. We all participated, and some of the people from the superintendent's advisory committee. It was great to see all the teachers come up and get to talk to all of them, share our insights, and it was really cool to, before school even started, get to see all the staff and teachers that we'd have this year. About school, it's been going really great. First 3 days were awesome. It's been a long time since we've seen all the teachers and students, so it was great to see them again. The phone policy, it's actually been going really well at Jesse Bethel, Everyone's been super connected. People are talking more. And as always, the diversity of Jesse Bethel, whether that be with people, with ideas, with perspectives, it's just so beautiful to see. And every year it gets better and better. So school's been going great. I will comment on the presentations by people on the 7-Eleven committee. As someone that went to a school that got shut down, Vallejo Charter School, and has family, my younger sister, who's on the superintendent's advisory committee for Vallejo Charter School, and my little brother, I think he's in 1st grade now, it's hard. And I went to VCS for 4 years, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and it was a beautiful school. So many great programs, awesome school, all the teachers and staff are great. But I do understand that there's decisions we have to make, and those decisions are hard. And I also understand that the campus is really good and we can make decent money off of it. I want to say that we really do appreciate everything that you guys say. And I do hope that the board and ourselves, we will take this into consideration because, it's a big decision and it impacts a lot of people, not just the students, the staff, the teachers, the families. So we'll definitely really look into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee DeLeon.
Good evening. My name is Zanaya DeLeon, and I'm the student, let me start by saying this, the first student trustee representing John Finney. Thank you. I know this isn't what that's for, but I also wanted to comment on the presentations. I heard a lot of you saying that this situation itself is pitting you guys against each other, but from all three of us personally, we hear you guys pitting yourselves against each other. You know, instead of working together, I mean, I know we love both schools. I've had family at both schools for years. And as somebody who lives literally right in the middle of both schools, and my sister now attends Stephen Manor, so do my nieces and nephews, I mean, it's a very hard decision. And hearing all of you guys was so amazing to hear how much you guys care about the schools, but why can't we work together instead of trying to open one school, have one school open, or putting them both at each other? You guys, at the end of the day, we have a board. We have a lot of dedicated staff. We have a lot of dedicated people and parents. And you guys are pitting yourselves against each other in the first moment you start speaking. And I heard it from pretty much all of you. And I say that in the utmost respect way possible because I am a child, you guys are adults. But, I mean, we heard it firsthand. And it's like, I understand. But something my teacher said to me today is, the thing that you see in other people, it bothers you the most because you do it. And that's exactly what happened. But anyways, my school was one of the 3 schools to start the Yonder pouches. So we're talking about not having a phone. Mine's locked up in a pouch all day in my backpack. And actually, it was one of the things I was most excited for. I said that last week, if you guys were at the, what was it called?
It was the launch of the staff meeting, a big staff meeting.
The big staff meeting we had at Jesse Bethel, I said I was most excited for. And it worked out the way I thought it would. You know, teachers are hands-on teaching. They're very, what's the word? Yeah, they're very, thank you. They're very engaged with the students. We have a lot of, you know, teachers who you could tell actually want to teach and who are helping us and who are there in the moment with us. As far as, you know, kids goes, they were iffy at first. Not so much in class anymore because we already had a no phone policy at school. That's the way our principal is. So we didn't have phones anyway. But the main thing they were talking about was at lunch and break. The staff's reinforcing them really nicely. They're very good about answering any questions and reassuring kids that we'll be fine without them and we can use the phone. I've used the phone in the office to call my mother. They're increasing activities. We're starting a book club in the library at lunches. They open the basketball courts and put basketballs out there for the kids to use. Our wellness center is now having more activities, and our leadership is putting games and activities outside, and we're playing music at lunch. So we have a lot of activities that our school is using. They're also being very strict with kids getting caught with their phone. You get a call home, and then it has to get locked in the office every day. The minute, if you don't want to lock your phone in the pouch, you can't even step on campus. You have to go to the office. Like, they're being very strict with it, and I honestly can say I absolutely love it. I had a talk with my principal yesterday to figure out what to say, and it's going very well, and we're seeing, even talking to my teachers, they're seeing kids being very engaged in school now. All their kids are doing their work. They haven't really had any missing assignments, and I can't say for right now about grades, but they are very successful right now, and we're having a really good time, and me personally, I love it. So, thank you.
Thank you. I feel so old school because there were no, cell phones weren't invented when I was in school, but, and I love the comments about how you're engaging and talking with other students and getting to know people other than through a phone, actually face to face. That I think is so powerful. So I loved hearing those comments. And thank you for also saying that they opened up the book club, the basketball, and there's other ways to engage instead of through a phone. So that's wonderful that our students are getting the opportunity to actually know each other in person instead of a device. Now we are on consent items, 8A through O. Do I hear a motion? Trustee Flores?
Make a motion to accept consent items 8A through O.
Dr. Young,
I second.
roll call, please.
Trustee Hodge?
Aye.
Trustee Flores?
Aye.
Trustee Young?
Aye.
Vice President Amboy is absent. President Fox?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobo?
Aye.
Trustee Abab?
Aye.
And Trustee De Leon?
Aye.
And the motion passes 4, 1 absent.
Okay, we are now down to agenda item 9, information. The first read of board policies, 9A.
So Assistant Superintendent Topacia will introduce the next couple items, all 4 information items.
Yes. Good evening. Give me 1 second. So as you know, we now have a cell phone-free school procedure, right? But we need the board policy to follow along and mirror the procedures that we're enacting. We previously had a board policy 5131.8, but it required revisions to be aligned with the new Assembly Bill 3216, the Phone Free Schools Act. And so we are required to update this policy in advance of the 26-27 school year anyway. So bringing it for first reading is just an opportunity to be ahead of that timeline and line up with the procedures we've already implemented. So I bring this to you for first reading tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for the information. Agenda item 9B.
That's me too. Let's see. So we have our 4th quarterly report for Williams Settlement Uniform complaints for the period of April 1st through June 30th, and there were no complaints filed during that period. So
Yes.
yay us.
Agenda item 9C.
Okay, thank you. Under consent, you had a couple of items to approve the expenditure reports for AMS funding for VCUSD and Vallejo Charter School, and these are the information items around the plans for the 26-27 school year on how we will spend those funds. Keeping in mind that these are living documents and can change and shift, but I am pleased to say that the first item for VCUSD, we are we have hired, with the exception of one position, 9.6 FTE staff for using the funding for the AMS, the Arts and Music in Schools funding. So this is a really big point of progress in the AMS expenditures. As you know, this money is intended to go above and beyond arts expenditures that we've historically had in the district, and so these positions are already ready to go with staff working in schools. The only position we're waiting to fill is at Cave Elementary, where they need a bilingual English-Spanish staff person, so we're still seeking that person to fill a part-time art teacher position there. So like I said, this is in addition to the teachers we funded in 24-25, 4.6 FTE, and so we're going to continue to expand those programs. And so that is the information for VCUSD.
Questions? Jacobo?
Good afternoon, or good evening. For regarding the AMS, how is it looking like? Is it like a class? Is it like an extracurricular you take like after school?
No, these are school day classrooms. So if you take an art class at Vallejo High, right, we've added a part-time theater teacher, part-time dance teacher, art teacher, music teacher, and media teacher. So any of your electives that you take in the arts, in the visual and performing arts, might be with one of those teachers. So this is school day classes.
Okay, I'm gonna come back when they talk about Vallejo Charter, because I do have a question about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're on the next item, which is 9D. Yes, 9D.
That's me too. Okay, so same, but for Vallejo Charter. Vallejo Charter is slightly different. As a dependent charter school, they do get their own funding. But because they were historically less than 500 students, their funding had different requirements. They could use contractors, they didn't have to hire staff directly. Now they're over 500, so the requirements for their funding is going to change. This is going to be a bit of a transitional year for them. They have longstanding relationships with some, like Vallejo teaching artists and other vendors that have been serving them and providing art teachers for them, and they have a strong history of arts programming. So during this year, we will request a waiver, or they will request a waiver to continue to use those staff they've been using while they transition to hiring staff directly under the new model now that there are more than 500 students on their campus.
Questions? Yes.
Okay, I'm back. So I have a younger brother attending Vallejo Charter. He is a really bright kid who likes to expand his horizons, and he's really hands-on. So this is definitely kind of putting myself in his shoes. Would the music extracurricular, the little music class, would it be funded by Vallejo Charter, like instruments will be given to them? Like, I know.
Anything required for the programs provided would be provided by the school. No student should ever have to purchase anything that is required for their education. So anything you need for one of your classes should be provided to you.
Okay, that was just.
Yeah, and so if there are instruments required for a band program at any level, we have to figure out ways to provide that.
And my other question was, has there been maybe like a vote between the kids on what they would want to see? No.
I can't speak to Vallejo Charter like having a vote, but what we are trying to make sure is happening everywhere is that there's a comprehensive program that includes all of the art, the areas of art, so that it's not just that, oh, they only get visual art or they only get band, but every student, especially at elementary school, we may not be able to do it like we do at high school where you get to pick a class, but we create a progression and a rotation where children are getting exposure to all genres. So they're going to get some visual and performing arts, they're going to get some visual arts, they're going to get some performing arts, they're going to get some music, they're going to get a little bit of everything so that by the time they reach high school, middle school, they kind of know what it is that they're interested in and can go deeper into that thing.
All right, thank you so much.
Trustee De Leon?
I was wondering if there was a reasoning, or like why Finney only has art and they have other, like, is there a reason behind that?
So regarding the program at John Finney, so the AMS funding is by school, right? And the enrollment size does help to dictate how much funding is provided. But what's really important is that every school has something. So let's see, at John Finney, they do have an art teacher that is supplemented by the general fund. So it's not just through this funding, right? There's some other funding in there as well. We do need to look at how to further expand the offerings so that there are more choices. It's a little harder when you have smaller groups of students to make it financially feasible to have, because you might end up with like 2 kids in a class, right? So we have to think about how we share resources across campuses so that there are multiple opportunities and multiple choices for the Finney students.
And one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
So it says on here, on what I'm looking at, that Everest and John Finney have art. Does Leadership too, or Leadership doesn't have it?
Leadership is a program, and so it doesn't get its own funding, but I will have to do a little more research and come back to you as to how the program for students who are in the Leadership program is organized for them to have access. But I will come back to you with that, I'll ask.
Thank you.
Dr. Young?
John Finney is an alternative high school.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, the homeschool of whatever student that goes into is
Yes.
still their homeschool because it's an alternative high school.
Yes, and
Is
if
that
they would
correct?
like to
Okay.
participate.
So if John Finney doesn't have the offerings that the child wants to partake in, they are given the opportunity to go back to their home school and participate in
In that program.
that program according to Ed Code.
Yes, ma'am.
So in answer to your question, if there's a program that you see at your home school, you have the right to go back and tap into it. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So to answer your question, you're not, you still have that opportunity.
Thank you. Trustee Arbab?
I'm looking through the plan right now, and it says each student receives 1 hour of visual arts instruction and 1 hour of performing arts. When I went to VCS, it was something like this, where there would be one class every week for things like dance and art. Is this somewhat similar to that? Is this like a continuation of that, or like a renewal of that from past years?
I believe so. Yes,
Okay.
that's the intention, that it would be following their traditional model.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Is there, I'm curious, I have a question. So for like students at John Finney, is there a way that an advisor or counselor or the principal can make students aware that if they do have a class at their home school they came from that they would like to attend, they know that they can partake in that?
I don't know what conversations have been had, but I certainly can look into that, because I think that's a valuable thing for the students to know. And then with the further discussion would be, how do we facilitate that
How do
for
we,
the student?
how do you get there? How
Yeah.
do you
So the
attend?
facilitation is probably the harder part, which is why
schedules,
we've wanted
yeah.
to make sure there are resources on the campus where they attend, to the degree that we can. But I think that's something definitely for me to go back and research a little bit.
Thank you. Trustee Dan Leon?
On what you just said, President Fox, because I came from Bethel and I was in Law Academy. And so when I transferred to John Finney, which was my junior year, so it was my second year in Law Academy, I was told that I would not be able to do Law Academy anymore. And I had that conversation with Dr. Young and the board in the summer last year, in June. Thank you. And they made me aware that I can still do Law Academy from my home school. So I think the main thing is miscommunication right now, because that came from, teachers and staff at Bethel before I left, because that was the only reason I didn't want to leave, is
Right.
because I still wanted to do Law Academy. So going off of what President Fox said, I mean, I know it'll be a conversation I will most definitely have with Ms. Whitson myself, like personally, because
yeah.
I feel like a lot of kids don't want to leave their school, because once you're a sophomore, that's around the time, sophomore, junior, is when you start attending Finney, and that's also when you get to pick your pathways at your high school.
Correct.
So when you start something, it's like you just start and then you leave, because then from what I knew and from what I'm aware, they're making it seem like we have to go to Finney and we can't do it. The sports and everything they're saying we can still do, but they're saying we can't, that our pathways we won't be able to do anymore from Finney.
Yes, and so, like I said, I'm going to need to do a little more research, and it could be that there are some barriers that make it very difficult, because the pathway includes multiple classes, right? But I will go back and do some research and see how could we make it possible for kids to do that. If not just is it something we, that we say, sure, yes, you're allowed to do your programs, but how are we going to help facilitate it? Which is the bigger question.
Dr. Young?
How to facilitate it? That's what you said, is that the issue? How to facilitate the back?
Well, it's just something I'm not prepared to answer right now, but that
Oh,
I'd
I-
like to research
you were
to
saying
see
that.
how that could, how are we ready to facilitate something like that for all kids?
Well, you need to be ready, real soon, because that's our legal right
Yes,
to do
ma'am.
that,
Yes, ma'am.
according to Ed Code.
Yes, ma'am.
Opportunity to go back and do, something, because they chose to go there, or written consent.
Right.
But they also have the right to tap into whatever Finney does not.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to be careful about that as far as equity is concerned in giving our kids educational rights.
Agreed.
Thank you, Trustee Flores.
I think this question is more for the superintendent. I know that you met with an organization that wants to bring artists into the community.
Correct.
They were going to fund it through a grant program. How does that fit in within this? Is that just going to be added on as what's the word?
What's above and beyond
Okay.
this, it's not connected to the AMS funding, because like you mentioned, they find their own funding for
Yeah.
these programs, so it would just be an additional.
But it would be just, I guess maybe the better question is if and when that were to occur, then it's just a smooth transition in so far as once.
Right, it's finding the right
coordination
entry
into the- yeah.
points, because, they wouldn't be teaching positions there, right? They would be supplementing things that either exist already or can bring additional supports, enrichment type activities as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that item. We are now down to Agenda 11, reports, superintendent report.
Actually, we got to go back to 10A,
Okay.
action item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No
Jumped
worries.
ahead.
Action
Action item 10A.
Action item 10A, we're going to have Assistant Superintendent Chamberlain. He has the next two action items for us.
Good evening, President Fox and trustees. Before you, we have a request for separation from service requirement exemption. This is when we have educators who have retired and want to come back into a teaching position as a substitute. We need to waive the 180-day separation from service requirement that is in place for them. And so we currently have two educators that are interested in coming back and working with the district. And so in order to do this, we have to have this service waiver requirement agreed to by the board, and then we file a waiver request with the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to allow them to come back. So there's still more steps to do beyond this, but this is the first step to allowing them to come back before the 180 days.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to accept action item A, CalSTOR's request separation from service requirement exemption. Do I hear a second? Trustee Hodges?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges?
Aye.
Trustee Flores?
Aye.
Trustee Young?
Aye.
Vice President Amboy is absent. President Fox?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobo?
Aye.
Trustee Abab?
Aye.
And Trustee De Leon?
Aye.
And the motion passes 4 and with 1 absent.
Okay, we're now on action item 10B.
Thank you. I'm here to talk this evening about substitute teacher rates. And we all know that substitute teachers, they play a vital role in the work that we do here in the district. And we're looking to ensure continuity of instruction. We are looking to, there we go, we're looking to make sure that our classrooms are properly functioning, addressing the staffing challenges and minimizing the combination classes where we can, as well as providing high-quality instruction for our students when their teachers are out of the classroom. The substitute rates and hiring substitutes supports of all 4 pillars of our strategic plan. And so our proposal is built upon those 4 pillars. The issue is that we don't have enough substitutes, and that's requiring that we are going through outside contractors in order to make sure that our classrooms are staffed appropriately. As you can imagine, that in order to stay competitive with the other districts around us, we need to look at our rates annually. And I think the last time the district looked at the sub rates was 2 or 3 years ago. And so the proposal here today is hoping to meet the challenge where last year we spent $1.2 million in sub-staffing contracting services. And so we're looking to bring our subs back to the district. We're looking to avoid having to pay contractor services where they are paying benefits and they're taking large convenience fees. And so in order to do that, we did a study of our surrounding districts around us, and that's how we came up with our potential increase for our sub rates. Now, in all honesty, I'm a competitive person, and this will make us number one. And so I plan to use that. I plan to advertise the heck out of this, if approved, so that we can continue to not only get the best and brightest in our district, but reward them for their time and their work with our students. So I wanted to share with you that these are our proposals. One is to raise our day-to-day rate by $35 to $265 a day, our long-term rate to $300 a day, and our retired substitute rate, our retiree coming back at $335 a day, as well as increasing our child development and our adult school rates to be competitive in the area. The fiscal impact, you'll see, is still being estimated, but right now we are paying Scoot substitute services $465 a day. And right now we're paying Swing, their sub rate's $360 a day. So even with our increase in rates, we're going to be saving money. And so fiscally, we believe that it's $100 to $200 a day per sub, and we're anticipating about $250,000 to $500,000 in savings of subs by using our own subs rather than using Scoot and Swing. You may be asking, what do you need to become a substitute? Well, the state legislature has changed their requirements, and so all you need is a bachelor's degree. And this would be a good time for a public service announcement that we are hiring substitute teachers here in Vallejo City. And if you have a bachelor's degree and you like working with students, call us. We're more than happy to walk you through the process, to show you how to get certified through the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. And besides that, and a fingerprint and TB clearance, we can get you on board and get you going right away. The path forward for us. The path forward for us is to not only pass the recommended proposal, but also we're looking at making sure that we're utilizing our dedicated subs. We're making sure that our absence awareness campaign is going to be strong this year, because we all know that we want our students to have their dedicated classroom teachers in those classrooms, but when they're out, we want to make sure that we have a qualified individual. So we also have a job fair that's coming up on the 28th from 2 to 4, where we're going to be focusing on hiring special education teachers, substitute teachers, and paraeducators to help fill our job roles. And so we're excited about the future, and we believe that this is a solid proposal that will make us competitive in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we heard something powerful earlier, though, from, I think it was a lady from the teachers at Pennycook. And she was talking about during COVID, she was a long-term sub, and she liked it so much at that campus that she went to college, finished her credential, and now she's a permanent teacher at our school. And that was a great story to hear.
Yes, absolutely.
Do we have, let's see, Trustee Flores?
Just a couple quick questions. In regards to the recommended amounts, are those set in stone, or is that something that could be reviewed or looked at again?
Those are our recommendations based upon the surrounding school districts. We can always look at them again and come back to you with a new proposal, but we feel that this will make us the most competitive in the area.
I just look at some of these rates, and some of them are only like $10, $15 different. And I'm just wondering, if we're already saving between $100 to $200, why not bump it up a little bit more for them to make that gap a little more enticing for any subs?
This was a conservative recommendation that we're bringing to you, but if you want me to go higher, I can do it.
I would, because if the goal is to attract them and to want them to come, I think $10 a day more is not gonna do it for some of these. On that note, I think one of my concerns is the over-reliance on subs. Are these subs union members, or are they?
They are not, they're at-will employees.
So that's one of the things. I definitely would not like to flood the district with non-union employees in spots where the goal is to have union employees
Understood.
in place. So I think those are just my two concerns. But I really do believe, if the goal is to become a magnet district, we need to have magnet pay. So,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you.
Were you next, Dr. Young? Okay. I think
I agree with you as far as creating that.
Microphone.
Evaluate that, but also with the collaboration of our CBF to find out whether we can afford it or not.
He's over there crunching numbers, don't worry.
So we'll be relying upon your yay or nay there.
Yes.
But yeah, we need to be a little. I wouldn't mind going up a little bit more on that.
We're also recognizing that we did look at the current teacher base rate, column 1, step 1, and that hourly rate is $348 a day. And so we're very mindful about where our sub rate is in relation to what that step 1 daily rate would be. But if you would like us to do that, that's something we could do.
It'd be nice to explore that avenue.
We don't just want to win, we want to crush it, right?
Right.
All right.
My other question is in the path forward, you have a job fair that says special education teachers. What other vehicle are you using in order to recruit special education teachers? If I can remember right, 2 or 3, we had a contract with somebody that's supposed to be recruiting special ed teachers.
Yes, and so we are recruiting out in the community. We're going to look at all avenues available because, again, we want to reduce our need for contracted services because it's costing us more money than it needs to. And so we are working on that currently.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to clarify, you mentioned, I know we're trying to avoid using contract agencies.
Correct.
So we're upping our subs to be very competitive within Solano County.
Correct.
And I saw your comparisons, we would be at the top notch within, so, and it would also reduce the amount we're paying. I think it was 400 something a day through the 2 agencies that you
Yes.
listed, Sloan and I forget the other.
Scoop and swing.
Scoop and swing. So, to reduce the amount and not use a contract agency, instead using an individual, like the lady we heard from Pennyhook that actually then got into a program, is now our FTE full-time employee. I think that's just an awesome opportunity. One thing I'm hearing in the board that maybe we invest even more, but my concern is I know we need subs right away.
Correct.
And I'd like to have this enticement of this higher pay being the highest pay in the district right away.
Yes.
But if you want to come back to us with an amendment later, but I'd like to prove it personally, just to get at least get it going.
Okay.
And then if we want to increase it, great.
That'd be wonderful.
But I don't want to stall it to wait another meeting or 2 because of, you can always bring us an amendment at another time, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Especially if we're talking $10, $25
Yes.
a column, when we're already at the top notch in this proposal.
Right.
Okay, I think I saw Trustee Jacobo with a comment.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So, not for me, I swear, but you mentioned the job fair where there is for special ed, sub teachers, and educators. And I do know that the student clinic over what used to be Vallejo Charter is now open. So will you guys also be looking into staff for, you know?
Absolutely. If we have vacancies that are available and approved, we will be advertising for them as well.
Because I reposted on my story. I reposted on Instagram the fact that the clinic was open and a lot of freshly out of college students who went through medical programs and got their degrees were looking into maybe like, oh, like, is there any spots open? So I was like, I'll figure it out, you know?
That's a
So
great resource.
people are really interested on it. It's just about promoting it, like we said.
Absolutely.
Promoting it, leaving the word out there. Even maybe like a poster on schools where parents, siblings, uncles, cousins could see and spread the word out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You, trustee, everyone else? Okay, trustee Flores?
I agree with you, President Fox, in regards to trying to get this going as soon as possible. But what does that look like so far as coming back for an amendment? Is it an easy process, or is it just going to be, is it just a simple comeback of an amendment to, you know, this
Yes.
motion? And
I'd be looking for authorization, and I would come back with another presentation, but would also give you an update on where we are in terms of our numbers as it relates to the budget.
Okay, thank you.
If I can just add to, I do want us to be mindful. I agree we need to be at the top of the pay scale. And we also have to be mindful that we're also dealing with a budget deficit and everything else. So I would love to see the data around this once we do raise the rates, maybe a couple months, let that see how it impacts our sub pool. And then if we see that it's doing well, we hit the right number. Or if we see it's not doing well, maybe we need to up the number. I'd like to see a little bit of data behind it before we just jump really quickly.
Trustee Young?
Well, the only way that you're gonna show any kind of data is in where you, have some kind of assessment tool that is built around the success of substitutes in this district. That's the only way you're gonna do it. Have that feedback. I don't know, do you recruit it from the site? Or do you recruit it from, where do you get that information? I mean, how good is that sub? How effective is it in the classroom? How, you know, there's certain areas that you need to, be, cognizant of when you put a sub in a classroom. Do they have behavior management? Do they have this? Do they have that? So is that the rubrics that we're gonna use in order to get the data that we need to see whether it's.
Well, I think it's a number of factors. We're going to look at what happens to our sub pool because we have only a certain number of employed substitutes. The rest are those contractors, which we know cost more money. So if we can increase our pool, that's great. That means the rate is working. I also just really want to be mindful. There was something that Assistant Superintendent Chamberlain mentioned, which is we want to be careful not to exceed the amount of that first step for our teachers. Because if you're paying your subs more than your credentialed teachers, that's problematic. Unless we're ready right now to raise all the salaries, which I know we're not, it puts us in a predicament if we pay subs more than fully credentialed teachers. So we just want to be mindful of that.
And Dr. Young, to your point, there is the ability to look through Frontline's absence management system where a teacher can put in comments after a sub has been used so that they can give feedback on the success and the connection that the sub had with the classroom.
Correct. When I put a substitute, when I use Frontline, same as this district, I get an email back at the day or two after the sub was in with my students. And the Frontline asks me as the teacher, how did that substitute do with my students? And was the curriculum covered? Would I reuse them? So it's already built in for the teacher to review how did things go that day. It's in the Frontline system because I use the same system where I work in my district.
Yes.
I think I'm trying to figure out who's next, and I think it's Trustee De Leon.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One, kind of what Dr. Young was saying. Are they, because I know our teachers have certain trainings and stuff when it comes to being in the class with the kids. Aside from what you need to be a teacher or a sub in general, they have other trainings. Are the subs we're using, because they're not necessarily coming from our district, are they going to have the same training?
A few years ago, the district did have a training for substitutes, and we're looking at reviving that training, but doing it in an online format, which will provide flexibility for the substitute employee, and will also give us a good handle on the completion of these trainings so that when they go in the classrooms, they're prepared around discipline and making sure that they're getting through the curriculum.
And how do you, maybe I should ask President Fox, how do you know, do you ask your students how it went and then you answer, or how does that work?
When I walk in the classroom the next morning, I can see from the floor, the desk, the schedule, what's on the desk of the students, what's not on the desk of the students. I can tell from and the notes that they leave. And then I ask my students as we go through the schedule that what was gone through and what was not gone through. So if they did not cover curriculum, or if it was just a fun day, I'm not having that person back. If they didn't have any discipline to get through what needs to get through, and everyone was going out and hanging out in the bathroom, they're not coming back. So there's different aspects I make sure that have to be met for me to feel safe to have that person back.
Well, because for your school, you said they have notes and certain things like that. We're in high school, so we don't.
So the sub leaves me notes.
Oh, so the
On my
sub.
desk, so when I come in, there's a note on my lesson plans, because I have to type out the
Okay.
full schedule, and they check to see did they cover it, and there's notes they leave for me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the kids.
No,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
thank you. Trustee Arbab?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think the board briefly touched on the extra money, right, and how we might be able to increase the pay to be more competitive, right? But it's also possible that this pay is enticing enough for substitutes, right? And to that I say, is it also possible to maybe increase pay for teachers so we can have permanent teacher positions? Is it also maybe possible that if we get enough substitutes, right, if it's enticing enough, we use that extra money to give them training in terms of discipline? Because I think it's almost like cliche, you guys might know, with high schools where students do run wild in class sometimes when they're substitutes. They might not get their work done on time because they think, like President Fox said, it's a fun day, right? So is it possible that we use that extra money to give them more like training to handle things like discipline?
It's a great question. It's a complex question because salaries with our bargaining groups is negotiated, whereas substitutes are not a part of a collective bargaining unit. So we can raise these rates easier than they would going through the negotiation process, and that is all dependent upon budget and state funds and things like that. So anything's possible, but it just is dependent upon the state budget and the district's budget as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee, I don't know, Trustee Young or Trustee Flores, who was first? Dr. Young?
Do we have a similar program as he was describing?
Yes.
Okay, when does it work?
Frontline absence management.
Yeah, when does it work? And how does it work? Because it hasn't been working, because some subs have been returning and they didn't get very good reviews.
We can talk offline, and I'd love to hear more about that.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes. Yeah, anytime that there is a concern about a substitute, we're looking into that. And if we need to remove a substitute because they're ineffective or they're not working well with students, we'll certainly do that. We need to get that info back to HR so we can act on that information.
Yeah, well, they just don't need to be shifted to another school.
Correct.
You know, we don't need that type of movement.
Correct.
Can the principal or office manager put notes in Frontline 2 to, if they see that a sub is not appropriate for their school, can they also? I know the teacher can.
I'm not sure if they have that link, but typically it comes through an email to one of the directors or myself to let us know that that sub was not effective.
Okay, thank you. Trustee
But
Flores?
how do you hold those teachers accountable for doing that input? Because they can just have the sub there that day and not input anything into the system.
That is true. That is true, and we can ask our teachers to do that because that data comes back to us and lets us act upon the information that we're receiving. But we can ask, a lot of teachers will go in, they'll be doing their attendance and they move on because, their teaching day is hectic. But we can continue to ask for that feedback, absolutely.
And
I
Dr.
think
Young,
that's important for your,
Yes, it
for
is.
to do any kind of good analogy of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Dr. Young, I just want to remind sort of everyone that one of the things I'm focused on this year is making sure our managers, all managers, top to bottom, are holding our staffs accountable for things like, and that includes using the frontline system when we report absences and using, it's really important. We use the systems that exist in a way that they were intended so we can actually get results.
Trustee Flores? And then.
I just think that where I'm having reservations about this is because we say we're a data-driven board, and I don't think I see the data that's needed for this, meaning when I look at this, it's superficial. You made the comment that we're gonna be the highest.
Yes.
But if you look at the numbers on there, we're not. In some of these places, we're either the same or less. So we're not the highest. The other thing is, data-wise, what I would have liked to have seen is which of these do we use more often, day-to-day, long-term, retirees? Because to the point of Superintendent Aurelio, where you're saying we don't want to do a big, giant leap, we did one with the retirees. So are we doing that because retirees are used more? It's like a $55 a day bump versus the other ones were, $30, so.
Yeah, to answer that question, the retirees are credentialed individuals, and so that's why there's a greater increase for the retired folks coming back into service. But we feel that this will make us competitive within the county and will draw a lot of folks back to us that left us. This whole bidding war started during COVID. There was no subs available. No one wanted to come into the schools. And my experience in Contra Costa County, it was brutal. The numbers just kept rising every other week, it seemed. And so now they've settled on these numbers, and I think this will get us back up to a competitive position. And then I'll come back to you in a few months with additional data to be able to prove the point.
Off the top of your head, which of these do you use most? Is it the day-to-day, long-term, or?
Day-to-day.
Day-to-day, okay.
I mean, we did start the school year with some vacancies, so we do have some long-term folks that are with us. We're looking to transition them out of being contractors into our own subsystem so that, again, we can save money over the contracts.
I would think that's where you would want to bulk up the rate of the day-to-day, if that's where we use the most, so.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Trustee De Leon, did you have a comment? Okay.
This one's more for the board. I know you guys touched briefly on you guys would be paying the subs initially more than teachers. The thing about, saying yes to something like this, I know it is competitive with other school districts, meaning we would initially, the goal is to get more subs. Are you guys ready for the possibility that there could be a lot of backlash from your guys' teachers?
Well, the rates that are being presented doesn't get it above the teacher rate.
Okay.
Yeah, but if we were to go higher than what was presented, we might be hitting that threshold. That's what we want to be mindful of.
Was there another? Okay. Well, thank you for your
you.
information. Very lively discussion, action item. I'll make a motion to approve action item 10B. Trustee Hodges?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges.
Aye.
Trustee Flores.
Nay.
Trustee Young.
Okay.
Trustee Fox.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobo.
Aye.
Trustee Abab.
Aye.
And Trustee De Leon.
Aye.
We have a vote aye, 2 ayes and 2 noes, and 1 abstain. So it's
That could delay the competitive and to find the subs we need for our district.
Correct.
Correct.
We'll
So
still
that's-
hold the job fair and advertise with our current rates, and
Which
then
are
we'll,
current rates.
then we'll come back to you with another proposal.
But as you said, the current proposal will not be higher than our
Correct.
union contracted rates for our new teachers, because otherwise we'd be in trouble with
Correct. With the
paying our
collective
own
bargaining,
staff
correct.
more than what we pay a substitute.
Correct.
And the objective is to stop paying contractors.
Correct.
Who we pay $400 and some dollars a day. We'd rather pay the sub rates you showed to get away from contractors and grow our own.
Right, we're trying to reduce the $1.2 million that we spent on
I
sub-services
just
last
want
year.
to clarify that I'm understanding very clear.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Dr. Young?
So in doing your research, you come back, you're not gonna exceed the contract.
Your microphone? Your microphone?
So when you're doing your research and you're coming back, hopefully you don't exceed the.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what I wanted to
And
see.
we-
I
and we-
wanted to see how far you could go.
Yeah, and we won't exceed the step one, column one of our collective bargaining teacher salary.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I wanted to see, that's why I had that nay.
Okay?
So are you changing your vote to aye?
Okay, thank you.
What do we do with a tie?
It doesn't pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to come back. Okay.
Sounds good.
Report, superintendent report.
All right, good evening trustees, staff, and members of the Vallejo community. So I'm pleased to report that we had a strong and inspiring start to the 25-26 school year. On Monday, we welcomed back our students, and it was energizing to see our campuses come alive again with learning, activity, and excitement. Over the past few days, I've made it a personal priority to visit each of our 18 schools. I think I'm up to 14 of them as of today, with the goal of completing all my visits before the end of the first week. It has been a joy to see our teachers, our classified staff, our administrators, and students fully engaged and committed to making this year one of growth, belonging, and achievement. I also want to acknowledge the diligent work of our 7-11 committee this summer. Tonight, the board accepted their recommendations, which mark an important milestone in our ongoing work to right-size our district and ensure fiscal stability while enhancing opportunities for our students. I want to sincerely thank each committee member for their thoughtful service to Vallejo City Unified. I also want to recognize the community that came out this evening, and we hope to see them continue to come out and speak to us as we make these decisions. As we move forward, I do want to reassure our families, staff, and community about the transparency that will remain in this process. As part of our Think VCUSD First commitment, we will provide timely updates, clear communication, and multiple opportunities for public input regarding the potential school closures and consolidations. Please keep an eye out for district announcements with details about upcoming public meetings, which will include town halls, board study sessions as well. Our ultimate goal is to have a board decision in place by December of 2025. We have pinpointed the December 17th board meeting for that, so that families and staff have clarity and sufficient time to prepare for the 26-27 school year. And just to reiterate, because I know the press will cover these events, and sometimes the press, they like headlines, and they will put things like 7 schools closing. We know we're not closing 7 schools. They will say 25-26, decision in 25-26 to impact 26-27. We do not close schools during the school year. So just to clean that up, because we know the press will write it a certain way, it's important to be clear about that for our families and not scare our families away, that we are going to be mindful of those things. So together, with honesty, collaboration, and focus, we will continue to build a district that is fiscally responsible, academically strong, and deeply connected to the Vallejo community. Lastly, on a sad, sort of sombering note, you noticed that Trustee Amboy is not with us this evening. I want to just kind of end with a brief pause in remembrance of Mr. Sotico A. Amboy. This is Trustee Glenn's father, who passed on Sunday. So if you wouldn't mind, it's a moment of silence for Mr. Amboy. Thank you. And that is my report.
Thank you. Board reports, Trustee Hodges?
Yes, thank you, President Fox. I my 5-year-old neighbor, his name is Lucas, started school for the first time in the Vallejo School District, and he wanted me to share his experience. So, Lucas told me, sec. So, just to give you a picture, Lucas's mom and dad were considering enrolling him in school outside of the Vallejo School District. So they finally decided to enroll him and got him into Wardlaw. So Lucas enjoyed his first few days. It's a big difference from TK. He started kindergarten. He enjoys reading and free lunch and wanted me to share that with the board. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
That is my report from Lucas, my 5-year-old neighbor. He's a really cool kid.
All right. Trustee Flores.
I think that's the theme of the night, where we are getting wisdom from our students, from Lucas to our student trustees. Briefly, I attended one of the welcoming, I believe it was for the certificated staff. I attended their welcoming, spoke briefly on it, and it seems like there's excitement in our district in regards to what we're doing. The only other thing I want to mention is, my son is at Vallejo Charter School now, and I'm going to ask the community, the new community that's there, the new parents, to please work with us, have patience. We understand that the school is probably itself still trying to develop a process in how to get kids dropped off, get kids out, etc. And part of that is the help from the parents themselves. If there's an area that's designated for buses to park, please don't park there. If there's areas that say no parking on the street, on both sides of the street, please don't park there, because that causes it's caused a lot of the issues that I saw on day one when I went and dropped them off and picked them up, So where we are at fault as a district, we will work on it, but I just ask that the parents remember that they're partners with us in this, and they do their part as well. So with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Dr. Young?
Well, I don't visit school sites on the first week of school. They need time to settle down. They don't need an extra body on the campus. And a lot of times they don't know who that extra body is, and then they go into panic mode. So I through the years, I just don't visit campuses at first. So I will be my boots on the ground on Monday, visiting campuses.
Thank you. My report, the board had a board retreat earlier month. We met on Saturday, and it went very well. Thank you. I want to say thank you to all the cabinet and that were there, and for all staff that was helpful with planning that day, and for the board. I think it was a great day for us working together. That's my report. Oh, and thank you everyone for the first 3 days. I know it's very stressful, and we're trying to get everyone in place and everything in place, so thank you for all you're doing. Forum, we do not have, closed sessions not needed. Announcement of upcoming meetings. Go ahead.
Okay. So what you see on the screen, we have 2 regular scheduled board meetings in the month of September, on September 3rd and September 17th. And then we also have the will start up again on the Vallejo City and VCUSD 2x2 committee. Our next one of those will be September 25th at 4:30 in the Vallejo City Council chambers.
Thank you. And do we have any requests for future board agenda items? Trustee Flores?
So looking for a report on where we're at with the implementation of protection for immigrant community in the district.
Bobo?
So I have a slight question. From the last time we were here, immigration came in topic where Miss Topacio, I believe, was the one answering questions, I think. And I had asked if there was any training going on with teachers or staff regarding immigration. And now I'm asking that question again due to a sighting that was thought it was. They thought it was a sighting, and the teacher had uploaded or posted the fact that ICE was in Georgia and Springs Road, which was seen as false. But of course, it brought panic to a lot of people in the community. A lot of parents were calling Vallejo High School asking, oh, is it true? And as my mother, who works with Rapid Response and she's always logged on every night, confirmed it was false. But I feel like, again, it's important that we follow procedures and we follow rules as staff, as teachers, as mentors, as peers, and to really double check what we post on social media. And yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, Leon?
Piggybacking off of Trustee Jacobo just a little bit, do we have any rules or anything in place when it comes to what teachers can or cannot talk about regarding any type of political or cultural or any issues when it comes to what they speak about with the children?
Yeah, there are some guidelines in what they can and cannot say.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Trustee Young?
I'd like to have some kind of report on the needed staffing. Have, we fulfilled each school site staffing.
A vacancy report and where we're at.
Vacancy
Okay.
report.
And I would like to have Superintendent Chamberlain to bring back the substitute, the exact same as tonight. All right, with that, we are now at adjournment at 9:20. Good night, everyone. Have a good night. See you next time.
8:20. 8:20.